This is Informanté Radio.
I'm just tryna get my dollar. I'm just tryna get my dollar. Itinye walking in my shoulder. Itinye walking in my shoulder.
You are listening to Namibia's best radio station. Informanté Radio. As you journey through life towards your retirement goal, build your wealth with Elite Save. Earn 8.5% compound interest on your investment term while choosing when and how you receive your interest returns. It's tailor-made to help you succeed. For more info, SMS Elite Save to 31844 and we will call you back. Underwritten by Trustco Life.
First and foremost, I want to thank everybody out there.
Please don't give a political speech. This is not the platform.
This is The Morning Mix on Informanté Radio.
My favorite show.
We're talking about one person, Maria. One person that you know. But you don't know every therapist.
Yeah, no, I'm saying not everybody's professional, but I mean...
Exactly.
But
so you stop defending her. We're not talking about her now.
I'm not talking about her also.
I'm talking about my
her.
cousin therapist who tells people stories.
Lend an ear and join us every morning.
All the time.
I listen all day, every day. I don't know, I'm just addicted to it.
But Maria, I'm also family of yours.
Dis pas.
Dis ons nie familie nie.
Jy het gister vir ons gesê ons is
Sa
broers.
Kwanyama.
Hallo.
Hoe sê sy vir ons? Ons
I
is nie
thank
familie
you.
nie. Very good.
Yeah.
No,
We will-
I've said your family zone.
Nee.
You just said we are not family. You are a
No,
Kwanyama.
it's my brother.
The Morning Mix.
Starting your day with a bang. You are listening to Namibia's best radio station, Informanté Radio.
The views and opinions expressed on the radio program by the guests, advertisers, news bulletins, call-in listeners or chatters are solely the views and opinions of the source who express them. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions and the views of Trustco Group International, the broadcast regulators in Namibia, or that of the Informanté radio station.
This is Informanté Radio, the sound for a new age.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9, Monday to Fridays.
The Morning Mix.
Any other day, la la la, Until the day, toka zaro fei. Kesho shimo shipunge shaboni kilo way. But for now, hey, I slay queen, I slay, hey. Ulimo hotel kwa mafuta kobe. Moving like a cartel, money come and you sway. Neta kono silicone pulling off a nigga. Hey, unikoni popcorn letting in diggy. Medina la Gucci, Louis no Versace. Ini maisha you are that you want get. Me, I'm just checking, sitting and hoping that you come back to me when you stop saying.
That's right, always loving local music on Informanté Radio. Patrick Dion and Tate Camtonio, or PDK if you will, featuring Blossom on this one. It's titled Wanna Love You. 21 minutes past 8. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Mix right here on Informanté Radio. I am Cubase, your host, as always. It's a vast dimension. Kom sit man, sê my, dan gaan selfs ons 'n bietjie. Anyway, we start, as always, we start the morning with your COVID-19 update, just looking at what the numbers are looking like for this morning. And no, don't worry, Shines is going to be here now.
Shines is weg, bro. That's why he's there.
He's weg, want to? Oh, wait.
Why do you think Shines is not there? Shines had to go quickly because he can't do it, so he asked me to check his thing from. Where's Maria anyway?
It's one of those mornings, Thursday morning.
And where's Neville also?
On the morning mix. Neville did say he's not going to be here this morning. I actually thought he was joking at say. Yeah. But in any case, kom ons kyk gou die coronavirus numbers before we jump into anything else for the day. Our total case load stands at 13,292 as of this morning. No new deaths recorded. Still standing at 134 deaths due to the coronavirus. Of course, 11,739 people have also recovered. We recorded 39 new cases yesterday. Case load continues to drop. 1,419 active cases. Around Namibia at the moment.
So the numbers are still going down. That's good.
They're still going down, but we're still reporting new cases. But I guess then again, I mean, we said the coronavirus was not really going to go away. It was going to stay with us for the foreseeable future. And I guess that's what we're seeing. The numbers are not going up, but the virus is also not going away.
No, the virus, they say the worldwide figures.
Yeah.
They recorded the highest numbers yesterday.
Yes.
And the highest number of deaths yesterday as well.
Yes, like in Europe and in the States, I know it is crazy at the moment.
Yeah, like, it is. They are getting a whole lot of cases every day. So
and they're also entering into their winter season. Actually, they are in their winter season. The northern hemisphere, the entire northern hemisphere is in winter. So. And we know that the virus sort of thrives in cold conditions. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with it. Are they going to go into lockdowns again?
They are in a position whereby they are trying to regulate the virus. So they have strict measures that they've put in place already. Like I think they went on lockdown for a week or so a week ago.
Yes. Oh yeah, they were supposed to. Some countries were supposed to go into lockdown for like 5 weeks.
Yeah, just because their numbers are increasing every day.
Yes, except for essential services, of course.
Yeah. So at least they're in a bad season. We are good here. We're in a good season. But that doesn't mean that we need to ignore this virus at the same time as well.
Of course. So. And I was also reading some news from I think Denmark or Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case, one of those Scandinavian countries, and they were saying they had actually discovered a new strain of the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. So basically, the virus, the COVID that we have, or coronavirus that we've all sort of
That the one
gotten
that started
to.
off.
Yes. It sort of
Evolved.
like it infected, I think, some meat products.
Whoa.
And then from the meat products, it came back to, so it was transferred basically from humans to meat, and then from the meat back to the humans. But then when it came back to the humans, the virus had changed a little bit. So it's more resistant, it's a bit more dangerous, even for people who've already had the virus. But this was now, it's sort of a new strain of the coronavirus. And the UK were really, really worried about it, and they were actually trying to enforce even stricter controls around their borders to ensure that, especially that this new strain does not enter the UK. So it's going to be a difficult situation, especially if the virus keeps evolving.
Yeah.
Ons het nog nie even een vaccine gekry nie.
Nee,
We gaan dit change out klaar.
they're busy with the vaccine, so that's the good news that they have currently. So we'll see how far that goes.
Yes.
If the vaccine does make it through, then
I did hear you and Kaufman talking about it yesterday. but the weird thing is, like the vaccine, they say, has to be kept at like minus sub-zero temperatures, which that's technology that a lot of people do not have, especially here in even in the first world. A lot of hospitals, for instance, do not have anything that can keep the vaccine at that kind of cold temperature. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one develops. Anyway, that is your COVID-19 update for this morning. Make sure you sanitize, make sure you socially distance, and please, if you are in a public space, just wear your mask, all right? It's not protecting just the people around you, it also protects you from their germs. So, yeah, let's try to keep our numbers where they are. Moro, Maria.
Morning.
How are we?
Can't complain. Joyce never.
Never. You remember at the end of the show yesterday, he said, I'm not going to be here. I thought he was joking.
I don't recall.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, he's like, tomorrow I'm not here.
But he said it like it's a joke.
Yeah,
That's why I was also asking Cubase. It's never let them hamakas of a crap.
I also thought he was joking. So he was kama ernstig.
Must be hustling.
But I did see his guy in the basement this morning. So is he iewers in die gebou? Maybe he has one of those top level meetings.
Probably.
Yeah, he's discussing our race on the morning mix.
Bonuses.
Yeah, bonuses, right. Let's read a few comments, of course, before we jump into the meat of the day. Meneer Alwyn Grom, what issues are you tackling today? Wacht net so bikkie. Koraza Kerelkind Fredericks saying more. Shora Kaunji, morning to you all top fans, Q-Man, and all of you. Thank you. Our guy shines, Mora, Shige Q, and Neville on Guy P. Maria.
On Guy P?
Yeah, discrimination against us that aren't top fans. Then make sure you get your top fan badge. Then you will not be discriminated against. You want to be part of the cool kids, come on. And the people who actually have those top fan badges, they make sure that everybody else feels it.
How does one get a top fan?
I don't know.
You get a notification if you visit a page constantly.
Oh.
Yeah, then you'll get a notification that will give you that option so you can display your top fan badge. If you don't...
But how frequent do you need to be?
Do you have to be on the page?
I don't know. It just pops up.
I also
don't stay with us. You will get
it
your
just
top
pops
fans.
up. Yeah.
You will also get yours, don't worry. Ngolo is saying it's depressing waking up to news on a daily about women being killed.
Oh yes, unfortunate.
Yeah.
And this one from yesterday was quite brutal. Not that any of them aren't, but I mean there's just levels to these things. And we were talking about a woman that was beaten with a hammer and axe over her head before her throat was slit.
Yeah.
These things are becoming almost more and more psychotic.
Yeah.
Or is it just me?
Yeah, I think
no, but
that is abnormal. That for me, that is abnormal. Even if I were to picture myself in that kind of fit of rage, I think that is excessive. What do they call it? Overkill.
No, that's it's like a hammer. It's an axe.
And then a knife
And then
also
a
to
knife
slit
also.
to slit the person's throat.
Yeah, the kitchen knife. And then it's just, I don't know. Can you put up that aircon? I don't know. For the most part, like, I'm obviously not a man, but I always imagine if I would, like, how do you as a man feel like just even laying a hand on a woman?
Yes.
Because that, like, for me, women and children are just so defenseless, you know? And
It just, for me, it doesn't make sense.
yeah, how does it go to that level?
Yes.
Like, laying a hand is already bad enough, and then you elevate it to taking weapons.
Yes. And I'm sure, like, probably after the first, I don't know in which order, like the weapons were being used. But I'm sure after the first one, she was already probably motionless. So everything else is
This
you have
was-
time to change weapons.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he planned it actually.
to beat somebody who's probably already dead. What is going on through your head? Like
I'm a very visual person, so
the Makisani just doesn't make sense. Guys, send me what is fout met ons.
Nee,
Let me
nee,
ask
nee.
you, man. Miss.
ek wil ook weet, wat is fout met julle?
That is the answer.
She was 29. That's a young life.
Yes, 29 is like at
Severely
the
young.
peak of his powers.
Yeah. She's just blossoming into like full womanhood. I think like when you hit your 30s, you're hitting that.
The part that makes it sad is even they were cohabiting at her place.
Yes.
So she was probably taking care of
She was
it.
the provider most likely. Yeah.
Mostly she was the provider, and this guy had to do this. You know what I was telling Q? You know what they used to do with the Jews back in the days when they hammer people and they hang them.
Crucifixions.
Yes, guys like this we should do the same. Dan hang ons hulle op in die straat en laat die mense net-
You're creating more trauma. I don't know if I want to see people hanging, even if they're murderers and rapists and whatever.
All right, now let me just give you guys some context in case you haven't read the story. As it is being reported by the Informanté news, a 37-year-old man brutally murdered his 29-year-old girlfriend, Mwakonjanale Amulo, by inflicting multiple head injuries with a hammer and axe before slitting her throat with a kitchen knife at the Oshimpangwe village in the Omusati region. That name kind of threw me off. Omusati Regional Commander Commissioner Titus Shikongo said the suspect has been arrested and has yet to be charged for the murder read with Combating of Domestic Violence Act. It's alleged that the suspect used a hammer and an axe to hit the deceased over the head and further used a kitchen knife to slit the deceased's throat, resulting in the deceased dying on the spot, said Shikongo. He indicated that the deceased body was transported to the Okahau police mortuary for a post-mortem examination, and Shikongo concluded that the motive behind the senseless killing is still unknown as police investigations are ongoing. I don't care what his motive was. I don't think there's anything that can justify this kind of brutality.
Yeah, and I know also when you're editing the stories, you're like, oh, what do you mean? There's, like, the motive is not known. But then I realized that in understanding motive is not to justify.
Yes, I
It's
understand.
just police do need to understand a person's motive.
brought
like
you to
it's even
this?
when you kill yourself.
Yes.
They need to understand, like, say, no suicide. The motive behind the hanging is not known. So even if it's just to say I was in debt or I was depressed or like that's a motive, you know, they just need to understand the cause, like what triggered it. But it's obviously not to justify it, and that's why, you know, it's clear that it is a senseless killing. It can never be made sense of, whatever motive there is. And I think it's so weird that there's always, in society, when stuff like this happens, there's always some form of justification, right? So in this case, we see that the guy, like you're saying, was living with the woman at her house.
Yeah.
And then you still find people in the comment section saying, yeah, she was probably reminded him that she was taking care of him, or there's always...
Then leave.
Yeah, there's always some justification, you know, there's always some way to victim blame. Like, we're always trying to make it the victim's fault. She's dead, brutally killed, slain, in cold blood, worst kind, really. I mean, being hit with a hammer over your head and an axe and then your throat slit.
Yes,
I mean, you can just
the
hope.
trauma even for the surviving family.
Exactly. You just kind of hope that she was already dead when her her throat was slit, because then it's just like vicious.
Yeah.
It's already vicious, but it just, like I said, it adds a layer to it.
To know that she had to suffer through all of it.
So you read that story and then so weird that for some people the first thing is like, to be slain like this, there must be a reason. And that's where we get suicide. And that's where we fail victims, and that's where we fail ourselves, and that's where we fail as society. So, guys, come on.
Like we lack empathy.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah, we lack empathy. We have sympathy here and there, but we really lack empathy. I mean, and Maria always makes this point, like, it doesn't have to be like your brother or your sister or your daughter for it to start mattering to you. Or like, why do you always have to be given the example, like, if it was your sister, would you still be asking what did she do?
What did she do?
Or would you just want to know who did this and you know, so I think we must be also a bit empathetic and this victim blaming culture, because there's nothing that justifies this kind of action.
Never.
It doesn't matter what she did.
Something must be done in that northern region, or shit.
Throughout the whole country.
Yeah.
Yes, it's predominantly, I am seeing like these things are happening in the north, and you're just like, what the heck is going on?
I don't know what's going on that side.
But in all fairness, like domestic violence is across the board.
Yeah.
It's across the board.
It's everywhere.
So, yeah.
We're, I guess, going to track the story and see how it develops, of course, when the suspect, at this point, is not even a suspect, the assailant appears in court.
Yeah.
Some of the comments coming through, we should touch the guy, says Tarek Mustafa. You know.
An eye for an eye, is that the solution?
It's going to leave us a blind
what
country.
What would be a good solution for crimes like this?
I think we should go harder on them. I really think there's not enough protection for victims.
Yeah.
And I sincerely, I mean, need I remind you guys, by the way, that a man shot his wife 7 times. And is out, and he's still the CEO of a parastatal.
Yes.
That's how little consequence there is.
Yes.
In this society.
Yes.
Still very prominent in society. Case has been withdrawn. There was enough. They didn't even need his wife's testimony, in all fairness. They could have made a case without her, because it is a state case.
Yes.
But the fact that it was like they withdrew it, she's not non-cooperative, but the state has not done anything to fire him. At least give him his marching orders.
Exactly. At least, like, take a stance.
Take a
on that
stance.
issue.
And so you can't, for me, it's very useless when government, including the head of state, says, we are against...
Yes, we are tackling this evil in our society.
Against SGBV in this country. But your actions don't show me that you are. What are the consequences for perpetrators?
Yes.
And this, like I said, even attempted murder. Because... Like, for example, in the case of what's his name? I need his name. What's his CEO?
Gertze.
Gertze. In the case of Gertze, his wife was lucky that she survived.
Yes.
Lucky that she survived. But she could have been dead. With 7 bullets, she could have died.
Yeah.
But the fact that she's alive, and it's like, okay, she survived. So he didn't kill her.
No foul.
He didn't kill her. He shot 7 times and he didn't kill her. So let him continue being an MD. Or CEO of a parastatal that you and I support, that's coming out of our pocket as taxpayers.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. There's no real consequences for perpetrators. You find some people like that are out on rape and go and commit
out on bail
for rape and go and rape again and again.
Yes.
So I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't think in this world that we're trying to formulate for ourselves that it has a place in this society, but for sure there should be strict actions and stronger force in dealing with those type of cases. And right now
there's none. And there's something I was communicating with Cubase earlier about, even the guy who murdered a girlfriend. Instead of there being strict action, what will happen, this investigation, they will go question this guy, probably do a psychological evaluation to see if he was mentally fit to do this. And that's just... Then this guy must just come and say, no, I was mentally not fit. And then the victim Nobody's protecting the victim, but they want to protect this guy that committed the crime. That's how our system works.
You can't fake it though.
Yeah, like I'm always personally, I'm always skeptical when people use the mental illness defense, but I also know it is a lot of cases. Some of this, like even this situation, because like I can't make sense of it any other way.
Yeah.
It's like this has to be somebody who has something seriously wrong with their psyche.
Yeah. You can't be to some degree. You can't be normal to do some of these things.
Doing stuff
but
like
what
this.
I'm saying is, I think there's a misperception that if you do time in the mental health facility, that's a better alternative. It's not. First of all, it's not. But also, once you completed your mental health, whatever, and you get a green light, like you are fine now, you actually do go to jail. So it's not like after that you walk. You would still do the jail time. It's just it's almost pointless to put somebody that is mentally unfit or unwell in prison. So they would have to go to a mental facility where they take their medication and observed and whatever, but it's not a better place than prison. And I just quickly saw something. I'm not going to read the whole comment, but somebody said, but Khair's wife is also stupid for withdrawing the case. Firstly, please don't ever say that about victims, because if you understand the mind of
the
dynamics and the mind of a victim, you wouldn't blame them when they do these things. I mean, it's like how a wife or a partner can forgive an abusive partner over and over, and you might not understand it, but it's actually a psychological explanation for why victims go back to their abusers, why they don't always take action, why they don't always walk away, why they forgive, why they stay. There's a real psychology. So like, a lot of these things, I always feel like I don't even want to educate you guys. Like, just go read up on yourself. There's so much material on. Like, that's a nice thing with being this like age where like information is just really at the click of a finger. Just go and Google and understand why victims of abuse especially stay. And why they forgive, and why, like in this case, she wants to protect her husband, who's also the father of her children. Go and read up a little bit, and once you understand the psychology of victims, you will stop saying stuff like, "Oh, she's so stupid for staying," or "She's so stupid for doing that." All right. Anyway.
And you know, lost man. Let me just lost my name. An eye for an eye, death penalty must come back. Gulo just besig vandag net. Ethel Koningsdogter Visagie, good morning crew. Waar is Okmalum Neville?
Somebody wrote on the comments, apparently they saw Neville in the north.
Hey, me, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
I also wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, the man Max chilled.
You mean I saw Neville in the north? I was like, eh?
Gulo is saying you cannot take the law into your own hands. If you hear your neighbor hitting his wife, you can't go in and hit the man or try to stop him. You need to call the police, and they take hours before they come out. It's something I did want to bring. I was like, the system is sort of broken. Remember the incident?
The phone call where they don't pick up.
Yeah, where they're not like an emergency service, and they're not picking up the line. I mean, especially when we have a big SGBB problem in this country. Like, what confidence are you giving even victims to next time to try and call for help? If they call once and then nobody picks up.
But you have seen cases whereby the women also go to the police station and the police officers just don't take them serious. But I don't blame them because...
You should.
I should blame them. I don't know.
No, it's your fault.
They're supposed to, they're not supposed to actually have two sides of the stories. They're just supposed to protect the women. Because you've seen scenarios whereby a woman will go to the police station, report the husband, and when the police say, no, make a case that says near. Then the question always becomes, but why did you now come to the police station if you don't want to open up a case against the person?
Sometimes they just want somebody to
listen to.
No, to mediate.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't need him arrested. Yeah. They just want mediation. And then the police, by the way, part of their duty is to mediate. So it's not always everything that they run to is the first sign is to arrest.
Yes.
Sometimes they're trying to is conflict resolution in a community like there's a conflict here. How do we resolve it?
Serve and protect.
Yes, serve and protect. So mitigation is part of it, and they should. But instead, it's like, oh, okay. And even if they open a case, they're not going to arrest the husband, like a lot of times. And just by the way, as you're speaking about the police, there's also been incidences where the women would come to the police station and they tell them, oh, we don't have vehicles.
Yeah.
And the women go back and then get killed.
Yes.
We've had, I think, 2 incidences, I think last year alone, of that nature, where the women got killed after reporting the husband to the police, but nobody came to attend to them. So I don't always like to put everything at the doorstep of the police, but there's also the inaction of the police also ends in the loss of lives.
It definitely does, yes.
Yeah. The Monica Gender-Based Violence Solution, that community group, I've been watching videos.
What is that?
Where are they from?
They're just within communities.
Here in Windhoek?
Yeah, in Windhoek. They also have members.
What are they called?
Monica Gender Violence Solution.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is, I saw a video on their Facebook page where they go in the community and educate these people about gender-based violence. So they were talking to, I think, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and this guy was abusing the girlfriend. And instead of, crucifying, they were literally educated.
Yeah.
Which I know this is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. You are the men, they are the women. You guys need to find solutions to understand.
There are different ways to solve
Yes, there
the
are different
problems
ways
in the
to
house.
solve the solution. Yeah, it's
Yes.
education. So what they do is they go educate, and I really must say big ups to them. They're really doing good within the community. And I watch their videos, and it's amazing how these guys. And I was listening to that guy speaking Moshuambo, man, and he was telling this guy, you guys are not even married, and you are doing these things. You live together.
Yeah.
First of all, you can also go to the magistrate. You don't need big stuff. Get married, build a family together. Violence is never the solution. And then the woman and the man was just like, hey, wow. They were listening,
I was just saying, education is very important. They did a survey. I think we also published those results where a lot of women, majority women, found that men were justified in beating them. So what it tells you is like, it's the mentality of the society we live in, and we need to change those mentalities, and we can only change them through education. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, now while we're still talking about, I guess, the legal system in Namibia, maybe we should touch on the shortlist for Prosecutor General, which was released on Twitter.
Rona, just please go study your soul. I don't like what Ro is busy with. And that victim blaming nonsense waarmee jy besig is, Ro, asseblief.
Skiet hom toe, what is he busy with there in the comments?
Yeah, he moet ophou.
Ella, gedraai om, bro.
Yeah, stop calling the woman stupid. Please, just stop it. You're just not helping in the situation. Anyway, please continue.
Ro, some people also think your wife is stupid for staying with you. You want us to say such things as net opo, gedraai asseblief. Nee, it's my bra, I can say that to him. If he was a stranger, I wouldn't have said it. But in any case, let me just give you an insight. Prosecutor General candidate Ruth Herunga reacts.
Oh, she reacts.
Yes. Come on, as if you didn't know. Right, Herunga is allegedly earmarked for the position of Prosecutor General, but she is adamant she will remove her political jacket if she gets the nod. Ruth, one of the 3 candidates shortlisted for the position, says she will have no way to rescind the fish rod prosecution as it is already in court. Because that was, I think, one of the biggest objections to her prospective appointment. Because she's so she's clearly shown that she is in the SWAPO camp.
She's in the SWAPO think tank.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's SWAPO. She's a staunch
yes.
SWAPO.
Yeah. So it's raising a lot of eyebrows here. It's like, is this somebody who can make sure that the law is applied even-handedly, given that they are so partisan? To hold such an important position in our legal system. Anyway, so let me just read a bit more of the story. Her inclusion in the shortlisted race for the position has caused public outcry, with many charging that she is too politically compromised to be the nation's Prosecutor General. Twitter, of course, the medium where she often made her supposedly partisanship views glaringly clear, was a hyperactivity when she, the incumbent PG Martha Imalwa, and FNB Namibia Group legal advisor Taswald July were announced as 3 contenders for the cushy job. Herunga has long been tipped for the job owing to her affinity to power. Right, she was recently appointed as a board member of Fishco, the state-owned company used as a conduit for mass bribery in the so-called fish rod scandal. Critics say the appointment of the temporary board was a tactic to help erase the trail of the scandal that landed former Fishco board chairperson James Atwikulipi and CEO Mike Ngipunya in jail. Now, being a member of the SWAPO think tank and a party hardliner on social media has also led to questions about how Herunga would be impartial if given the job. Right, at a press conference yesterday, the AR movement claimed that the decision regarding the prosecutor general position has already been taken, hinting strongly at Herunga's appointment. Okay, look, there are many professionals within our industry, our various industries, and not all of them are non-partisan. Of course, this is an important job, and you really need impartiality for somebody who's going to be basically our chief legal whip. But are we saying it's not possible for somebody to sort of be able separate their party affiliations from their job?
You see,
or is this too important a job for us to want to take that kind of risk?
No, what I want to say is, I know, like, social media, I mean, people have been very vocal on this issue, more specifically to hinting to the appointment of Ruth Herunga, who is a former magistrate, because of her party affiliation. And I mean, like I said, she's in the SWAPO think tank. It's no secret that she's SWAPO. She's been very vocal in her support for the SWAPO party, even helping the party in the campaign strategy and so forth. The reason I've not commented on it on social media is because I also know Ruth Herunga on a personal capacity, and I mean, we work together on the Me Too movement. And it's like when people, like, I understand why people are saying what they're saying, or why they view, because you should scrutinize all appointments.
Of course.
In the public domain. So I understand why people maybe are skeptical, because they also don't know in a personal capacity. So, I mean, just if you look at, the fact that she's a staunch SWAPO supporter, that she's been in the think tank, then you question, can she be impartial and whatever. And like, I mean, then you criticize that appointment. I understand where those people are coming from, but the only reason I haven't commented is because I don't want to silence those people, because my view is that Herunga is more than capable of doing that job. That's my opinion. I mean, having worked with her and just seeing that she really is about fairness and justice. If you know her on a personal capacity, but again, like I said, I'm separating the fact that I've experienced her on a personal capacity. I've worked with her in a personal capacity where I've been able to make this assessment for myself. But Herunga is one of those people I believe is very just and fair, and also capable of putting aside her when you're in this position, you can't be a supporter of any political party.
Yes.
I think she's more than capable of putting that...
Of prosecuting members of her own party,
yes,
basically.
Members of her... And just by the way, I don't know why people are scared about her involvement in the fish rod. Ruth Herunga has been vocal on the fish rod, but like calling for their prosecution on her Twitter account.
Of course, nobody has been watching that. All they see is just her saying SWAPO stuff.
SWAPO, exactly. Yes, but she has been. She has been in the past. Like when these things came out, she's been vocal in that there should be prosecution, that this is wrong, that this is unfair. So I think I think that's why I find it weird that people are saying, but she will not be fair on the fish rod. Of course, the fish rod decision has already been made. That's what she's saying. But also, she hasn't been in support of them getting away with the crime. So I don't know where that's coming from, but I also understand the skepticism and even what the AR is saying and perhaps what other people are saying. They are justified in feeling and thinking that way. We should save God, those type of positions. I mean, PG is like a very, very, very important and crucial position. But I'm just saying, like, I don't necessarily think because she was in the SWAPO, she's incapable of doing this, because I know the integrity of Ruth. And believe me when I say that woman is about justice, I mean it. I'm not just saying it to give her unnecessary praise. She really, really is about fairness. And that's why I believe I wouldn't mind if she was appointed in that position.
Affiliation is always the problem.
But everybody's affiliated.
Yeah. Look, that's the point I was trying to make. Everybody's affiliated to some or other party. Some are vocal about it and some are not, but we all have some or other affiliation. Yeah. And I understand, of course, the skepticism. I mean, after we saw what William Barr, or what's the Trump's Attorney General, how he kept sort of shielding the president and shielding the president's friends. You obviously want to pay more attention to somebody who's sitting in that kind of position, and it's more or less the similar position that we're talking about now in the Namibian context. So. I also understand that there's going to be skepticism. It is good. It shows that the Namibian society, the Namibian public are interested in what our government is doing, and we...
It's more, as much as she's capable, of course, her being in the top 3 means that she is suitable for the position.
Yes.
But the fear that has been created, since the whole corruption scandal of, from Attorney General being, Saki was Attorney General, he became Minister. All that, the whole process that they created, and it led to this whole fish scandal, will also cause people to be like, she's already part of SWAPO. There are heads that's Grootkatte in the party that can influence her and say...
But but do separate the two powers. AG is a political appointee.
Yeah.
They can be in the cabinet, they sit in parliament, they can be a SWAPO affiliated. That is a different appointment, including the Minister of Justice. That is a political appointment. PG is a public.
Yeah.
So let's separate those two. The president public. Has no.
But even so, if she is the PG, don't you think she will be influenced by the pickets of SWAPO at the end of the day?
Cake Semi, here's a question, and it's something that one of the comments here is asking. But all the candidates are SWAPO. That's all the SWAPO.
Even Martha was, yes.
So.
And are we saying that because you are SWAPO, you can't
walk under the SWAPO administration?
No. That to say you can't put that affiliation and support on the side, because it's like, what are we saying about we're questioning her character. Yes, for example, just an example. You said you voted LPM.
Yes,
right. For the party. Okay, just an example.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's voted for LPM. Are you saying then that, for example, Cubase will not be able to, let's say, if LPM does something wrong, criticize and call them out?
No.
Exactly my point. So people can still, with their affiliation, still call out power or hold the power accountable, even if they're affiliated. It's the weirdest thing. But I said I understand why there's skepticism. That I get. You look compromised, and I think with Herunga, she, because she went to but you also need to remember she resigned for a reason. She resigned from that board because I think there were some other conflicts where she said, "Woof, now this is not going.
I don't want to tarnish my name.
I don't want to tarnish my." And she walked away from there. So, like I said, I'm maybe just speaking because I know her personally, but I also, like I said, I understand where the skepticism, and that skepticism is necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary.
Look, it's the first thing that hit me when I was reading the story as well. Like, two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen, even in the past with people like Mr. Luendo, with people like Leon Uester, you can still be a staunch supporter of SWAPO and still criticize the party when you think they're doing wrong.
And what happened when you criticize the party?
Well, now I still at his position.
Yes. Look, so at some point it sort of becomes questioning her character.
Yeah.
Because she's vocal. Yeah. Very vocal, especially on social media. And I mean, Taswald is also SWAPO.
I think it has to do with trust.
They're all affiliated. Yes. I mean, in all fairness, they all are kind of affiliated.
Yes.
It's all about trust at the moment. So the public out there have a little bit lost trust in our leaders.
Of course.
Yeah, so that also contributes So hopefully if they learn to know who the character is and probably just go find out who the person is. I think some people are just commenting and reacting without actually giving her an opportunity to find out what kind of person she is.
And for me, it's not even finding out the person is like, look at her career as a magistrate. And look at the type of cases she's prosecuted. If you want to get an idea of the character that you're dealing with, look at her past cases and look at how she's sentenced people, how she's ruled and whatever. And her history will give you an idea of the fact that she is seen to be just and fair in cases. So just look at that. So it's not even about knowing her on a personal capacity. I know not everybody has the privilege to get to know her on that personal capacity. But I'm also saying is, like, you can see what type of person she is if you go to her old cases, because this is somebody that has been in the public sector for years before she resigned. I mean, then she started the Lawyers Association, and look at the work she does there. And look at how she's been vocal on the prosecution of certain matters. Just go look. So, let me not say too much, because, like I said, I might be biased. I am biased.
No. What you're saying is true. But this is what happens. Most of the people will not do that. They don't care about what she did or where she is, where she come from, and how did she get to the position where she is. They're just worried about her circles. And that's it. Then they judge her based on her circle, and they'll be like,
But that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because it means people are awake. And people are trying to safeguard.
They're aware and
they're aware
and they care.
And they care. They say, people say, oh no, we're not going to let, for example, this fish rot thing disappear. So whoever is there, we don't want this thing to just disappear. So, like I said, that's why I'm not commenting, because I understand and I'm happy that people are questioning the characters and affiliations of people that are appointed in these very, very important positions. So even the public scrutiny is not wrong. I think I would be more concerned if everybody was just like...
Yeah, no, it's cool. Davos says, come and show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah. Lost my friend there. You see, Maria, like Ro is having a little battle that he has on his hands now in the comments, because he's having to fight off everybody. Jade must gesuk me, bro. I'm not even gonna come to your rescue. I'm not even gonna read your comments, Jade. Fang your fear. You're gonna buy a practice on the comments. Alright, let's read a couple more. Samuel Makale. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce that last part. Can the JSC please publish the list of the list candidates which did not make it, that will split the beans?
Yeah, I think that's what the AR is also asking. Said they actually want the process to be to
be transparent.
No, to start from the beginning, to be restarted, and then they want it to be public.
How did you get to this
point? They need to, they want to understand the candidates that didn't make it, and they want to understand how they came to these three. But I think nothing has really been disputed in terms of the ones that didn't make it. I mean, I was listening to Professor Horn this morning, and he was just saying, for example, the candidate that he would have liked for this position, he knows that the person is not qualified, like on certain qualification. So I don't think anybody has come forward and say, I applied for the job, I'm qualified, but I'm not even shortlisted. So I think the three that are qualified, there's no dispute that they might be the only three that met all the requirements. It's just maybe we don't want, the public doesn't want those three. They want their own candidate that they were hoping for.
But like who?
Who's the option?
It's a heavy duty job. They listed. That's why Martha is back, because she also qualifies again too.
She was supposed to be retiring. Remember?
But her term is coming to an end. But she can reapply. She
reapplied, yes.
So, and she can get it again. She could be the next PG again. So it's one of those jobs that extensive qualification is necessary. Extensive.
It is an important job within. Like I said, it's like just pretty much the chief legal whip in the country. So
you decide who gets prosecuted and who doesn't. Do you understand how serious that is?
Yes.
Like if a rape charge lands up at your desk, just an example, and you say, no, we're not prosecuting this person. That's it.
That's it.
There's no prosecution.
Yes.
It's clear. You go. It's a very serious position.
Which is why it is important to scrutinize.
Yeah,
as well.
that's why I think people are scrutinizing it as well, because they're just scared for another corruption scandal. But but do you think they will reverse the whole process?
Like start from scratch?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think they're so far ahead now.
Yeah.
But what I hope they would do is then, with these 3 candidates, perhaps do like a public thing, like a Q&A or whatever. Because that's also the other thing that people are asking. Like NAST has these sessions, and they were saying, can those guys, so that the public can get to know who they are. Like we now know of Ruth and we know Martha because she was the previous, or she's the current PG.
Yeah.
But who's the other guy?
Yeah.
What is his story?
What is his story?
What is his history?
It's
Kenny.
And
even Ruth, I think it's just because she's in the spotlight and there's scrutiny around her. But who is Ruth? What has she done? Do people even know she's a former magistrate? Like what?
That's true.
Yeah. So we need to know who our PG is going to be.
I know her because she was sitting in that chair.
Yeah, she was. She was on our show.
Let's have a good comments.
Okay, yeah, come on, clear comments. Braji Gontep, don't even, because there's a lot of conversations going on back and forth between people in the comments, so I'm probably going to skip most of those comments, because unless I read the entire conversation, some of the things do not make sense, because then there's no context.
At all.
All right. Braji Gontep is saying death penalty might not be the solution, but still apply justice differently. Cut down a few fingers of those who are stealing. Rapists to be castrated, racists to be left in the jungle for a period of time to mingle with baboons, and the ones beating women must be jailed with hardcore criminals for a good lesson.
I would like us to start with this community service.
Community service is the solution.
People hate, like in the States,
Yeah.
that's the thing where they hate, like, community service. You have to give like 40 hours or 50 hours or 80 hours to community. And it should always be related to what you are doing. Are you racist? Okay, go work in the black communities.
In the black communities.
You have to work at the daycare.
Yes.
Or
are you a misogynist? Go work with women.
Yes.
Are you a rape apologist? Go work with rape victims. Just it must be relevant to what you are being charged for.
Yeah. Especially for I don't want to say small crimes, but for less serious crimes, community service, I think also to sort of decongest the prisons. And it helps probably with the rehabilitation of also some of the guys who do some of the, who commit minor offenses.
Yeah.
Monica Lewinsky. Monica, that name is always going to throw me off. Every time.
Somebody's stuck outside, sorry. That's your brother.
Oh. Well, I'm stuck inside. Monica Lewinsky says, happy birthday to an amazing person who has touched my life in so many ways. I couldn't have asked for a better partner. God bless you, my hubby. Oh, that's sweet. God bless him. And happy birthday to him. Samuel, I read that one. Ro is replying to something. Tarek is replying to Ro. Also, sometimes what I find relevant, you might not find relevant. Check. I understand this was a reply to an earlier comment about sometimes you don't really have to, give your opinion on the show. You can just sit and listen. But I understand, look, there are certain things which are objectively wrong, all right? But we still want to give you at least the leniency of expressing your opinion.
So, informed opinion, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully your informed opinion. Don't just come spit nonsense in the comments. So yeah, we try as hard as possible not to censor you, but you need to bring your part. You need to be responsible with the things that you say. Understand this is a public platform, and the voices that are on the show are carried throughout the day, and you don't know how this might influence somebody else. All right. Trudy Gertze, then they should at least have agreed to make the interviews public as was requested.
Yeah.
For the PG position. Kandra Klabanelo. In the end, everyone just wants justice. If you commit a crime, you should be punished for it, whether you are the president or a normal citizen.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I think we should just strengthen our systems. You know, some of these things to make sure there is a serious safety net for survivors of SGBB. It's difficult also for some of these people to get out of these relationships because there's no safety net for you.
Yeah. Where do you go?
Yes, you've
Especially
been put
if you're
in
like financially dependent on a man.
Yes.
Where do you go when you're being abused? Do you have children? Where do you go? Do you have a safety? Your family's not taking you in. A lot of times when you're being abused, you've cut off your friends and your family just by the way, because that's what abusers do. They isolate you. Where do you go? We don't have safety homes. During COVID-19, I think it exposed us to like our shortcomings.
Yeah.
We didn't have safety homes for victims of abuse. Where do they go when you're experiencing abuse and violence in the home?
Yeah.
Nowhere. So you just put up with it.
Yeah. So we must stop viewing it as this black and white, stay or leave kind of situation. Yeah. How many times do we keep going back to MTC? No matter how many times they abuse our data and our airtime, and TN Mobile is just there looking sexy and orange and nobody knows.
You getting abused at the workplace, yes. But you can't even leave your job. You can't put in send a resignation man. If you resign from your job, you have bills to pay. So you see how easy it is.
Yeah, it's easy to say, yes, but you should have left.
You should have left. You can't even leave your job.
It's not that black.
Where you are being abused by your boss.
Yes, you're complaining about your boss every day, but you're not leaving. Hi, Dion Chimsizel. Hi, guys. If we do not have anything relevant or of substance to say, we can keep quiet. We do not always have to say something. Sometimes we just can sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. That is also a very relevant point, Dion. But not not for the purposes of censorship. Yeah. But then, of course, it's also nice to just sit back and enjoy and take in. Yeah. Okay. All candidates, not SWAPO. I think I read that one. What are the female presenter's name? The name is Maria.
Is it a new person?
Malcolm Tobias. He's a sharer. He's got a sharer badge, but he doesn't like. What have you been sharing?
No, he shared like the
news stories.
Somebody's also asking what my Twitter handle is. Is it for all the what are the female presenters Twitter?
Yeah.
Shadows of Wolf _ Wolf.
Okay, Ro, ek sal eers jou comments na die show lees.
Rosa, let what do you call it?
Ek kom sê, hy is eers in die hot seat vandag.
Julle conversation gehad.
I know you're a top fan, maar vandag is jy op die backburner.
Ro, eendag as jy dit, ek kom ons van, I like to offer coffee, but I never pay for it.
Coffee met 'n E en 'n E.
Met 'n coffee met 'n IE. Ro, when you come to our office, let me just sit you down. I'll just give you a little bit of the mentality and mindset of victims. So maybe you will have more sympathy for them.
Yeah. Because Ro was talking to Terek, about the Hertz case. Because when he said the woman she's dumb and whatnot, Terek actually said it was damage limitation, I feel, because she was facing being charged with extortion too.
So they sort of intimidated her with a law case.
Something like that. That's what he said, and that's how they went back and forth.
Also, let us be very clear. She didn't withdraw anything. She didn't have the power to withdraw. It was a state case. The state did away with the case because they felt like without the only witness, because she was a non-corporate, I think they call what is the word, not volatile, hostile witness. That's I think what they call them. She's what they call a hostile witness, meaning a non-cooperative and doesn't want to work with the legal system or the state to strengthen its case. So the state did away with the case. But in all fairness, I think it was actually the PG's office. It's weird, but I think it was the PG decision.
See how all these things tie to each other.
It was the PG decision because the state can't just throw it. It's the PG that say, okay, we're not going to prosecute. So
You see now,
Martha.
and then comes the PG's decision, and this guy is protected, politically protected, and they won't let go of him. Then they won't prosecute him. Then the PG will pull back.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I still feel like there was a case to be made. I mean, if you look at ballistics, you look at how he fired the gun because she gave a different version, he gave a different version. Ballistics could have shown the truth, and they could have still made a case against him, even with a hostile witness. That's what we've been saying.
But you see, it's the problem that we create by every time asking, but what did the victim do? But what did the victim do? But what did the victim do? Whenever there's a crime like this, because now we're in a situation where even though the state has enough information to prosecute, because she is obviously the star witness in the show, in the scenario, and if she decides she does not want to cooperate, the settler die, and they basically are sitting with nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
At the cases by a company.
Yeah, but some things can be proven. It's like you watch CS. I'm not saying we're that sophisticated.
Yes.
But I'm saying some things can just, your version is most gate 1, 2, 3, the vierde is kitchen daar, you know. But then the ballistic is saying no. You shot like this. You were standing here. You were standing a meter away from her, and you shot like this. And the ballistic can tell you. And if it's found that he's contradicting himself, that's how you're guilty. Because why are you lying? And already, like the two of them, like I said, they contradicting each other's statement already. He said his initial statement was burglar. Her statement was just trying to stop him from killing himself. but she ended up with 7 bullets.
Wasn't it a shotgun? It was not like an automatic rifle whereby if you shoot once it can
exactly
throw.
Like
you have to keep loaded.
Like it was he was cocking it mostly.
You need to have to cock,
and 6 times.
The 7th one was apparently there's always a bullet. Chris was explaining.
That's all. Yeah, that Blair did a bullet
in any chamber. What is chamber? That's what the 7th.
That's it's amazing. So, like, cause I mean, to shoot. I can't see myself shooting somebody 7 times without intending to kill them. This is not even I'm trying to hurt you or to warn you. This is I'm trying your network ups. It's like 7 times, and then the case and then the state decides, nothing to see here.
It's all right.
Moving on.
Yeah, hostile witness. hostile witness. Yeah.
Really. No, she doesn't want to help because she knows what she did.
She did. She must cheat it. That's what Chilaka said. Yes. See why we need good PGs.
Maxwell Sierra, Monica Gender Violence Solution also patrols around Windhoek at night looking for people that are misbehaving. They walk together with Nampo.
That's nice.
That's
really nice. It's like the first time I'm hearing about it.
They're within the community. Let's follow up that song.
Hulle moet inkom hier so laat ons kom praat. We want to know about the work they do.
I think I'll get you guys in touch with them so you can have their people that represents them.
That would be amazing.
That does their work for them.
I see Ethel here is also saying she's willing to. I think when I was saying I want to have coffee with Ro, Ethel says, Maria, please invite me to Perspective from Different Women. I will be glad to give my experience to. I think of the victim mentality, or the mentality of a victim.
As a victim.
We should. I think it, and then I think there are also suggestions to have lawyers in here, and whatever to give their.
Because what I've noticed, they are building that whole gender violence solution across the country.
Yes, it's good. Like,
because if we cannot always depend on the law.
Yes,
the law will always disappoint us at the end of the day.
Sometimes they do come through.
Yes.
But I do.
I mean, look, guys. Our legal system is not in tatters.
After they've investigated, after 10 years, then they can prosecute the person.
But that's different powers.
Yeah.
The investigating is the police. And unfortunately, sometimes they slow down the prosecution process. But I mean, okay, guys, our legal system is not in tatters. Let's not paint this. Our judiciary is not in tatters.
It is functioning.
It is functioning. It can be strengthened. Meme Martha Imarwa, current PG, her complaint in the time she's been in office is that she doesn't have enough manpower. She needs a bigger office. She needs more staff so that she's more. And sometimes you'll be surprised how sometimes these things affect you doing your job diligently. Yeah. You need to be given the proper equipment and tools for you to do your job effectively. Yes. And when you're working with a small team or a small staff, or you don't have enough, whatever, it becomes difficult. The same issues that Noah has been saying for years at Anti-Corruption Commission, that they don't have enough resources, manpower. So yeah, it unfortunately reflects poorly on them. But like I know she's been talking about it. So let's just, when I say we, I'm talking about government, the state. They need to put proper system in place so that those people can really do their jobs diligently. Otherwise, they just look bad.
I think they should really they should speed up this process. It's very slow, and this is where also people get that opportunity to get bail.
Yeah, and even with Meme Math, I think what is the biggest thing I've criticized her for was probably the GIPF and non-prosecution and the money that disappeared. And nobody was prosecuted. Madimentos and Nama is that so? Like, why aren't you coming for them? It's like, papers just disappeared. I think that's my only real criticism of her in terms of her doing her job. But in all fairness, she's been doing an aight job. She hasn't left me frustrated at every corner. I think for the most part, the office of the PGS called for prosecution where prosecution was needed, and so forth. So I think, she's also got a lot of successes under her belt.
Yeah. There are a few dark states. Brown, not black, but
because we want corruption. I mean, even Meme Katrina, her going to court, that's the PG. Said, prosecute, can't prosecute, and then the rest, and even Toby, prosecute. So she hasn't really been protecting leaders in a sense, or affluent people. She's been allowed the process for them to defend themselves in a courtroom.
All right, let's read some comments.
Yes,
Samuel Makale, some of these public figures, these people with bigger positions must learn from the likes of Time Kanjo, not opening up about their political party camp, just to protect your image, because otherwise it will end in tears.
And sometimes you have no affiliation. I think for a fact, I spoke about it with Tim. He has no affiliation.
If he's seen with somebody, then people will just mistake him.
No, he has no affiliation.
Apparently, there's a rot here. People are asking, how did Malcolm get that share badge? If he doesn't even know what Maria's name, what did he share?
Is it a badge rot?
What is a share badge anyway?
No, look, remember, this is the Informanté page that we're talking about. It's not just the morning mix. There's a lot of other stuff posted on Informanté during the course of the day, and that could be what he's been sharing, like our news stories and so on.
He could have been very active on the Informanté news group itself.
Without necessarily
coming
watching
onto the
show.
Morning show. But good to have you here. Nice. I don't know if it's your first time or you've been a silent listener. I mean, I'm assuming not because you don't know my name. But welcome.
No, it's a new one.
How did you become a sharer? What did you say? Avondre, rich auntie with brains and beauty. This is too good to be true. Kwetu.
Yes, sir.
Avondre Karumba.
Oh, thank you.
And then Tarek says, she has a heart, a real heart. Sometimes admire her flaring in passion about social issues. And that she definitely does.
Yeah, the anti-Ken stories, even your stories work. That's Liva. She responding to Avondre.
Work.
And then Tere come through and say she has a heart, a real heart. Sometimes I admire her flaring in the passion.
Oh, thanks, Tarek. Tarek always gives me nice compliments. It's a hope, man.
Hey,
stop it. I like it.
Say if you're single, you'll double.
It's fine. Let me be. I almost forgot.
Kandra Cabanello, we should invite someone from gender, police, and magistrate onto the show to come explain to us why certain things happen and why certain decisions are made, right?
Yeah.
Net laat ons almal mooi verstaan wat behind the scenes aangaan.
In fact, I would like somebody to come in and explain like the importance and significance of like the PG's office, and the PG himself or herself, like what the role are, and like maybe we should consider that. It's always nice to educate the masses. Yeah.
I actually really want to talk to the gender ministry. I doubt we're going to be able to get the minister. Even her deputy or the PS.
The deputy we might be able to speak to.
Because I also understand the controversy surrounding the minister at the moment. So NB, let's not forget that 95% GBV related cases involve bamboo ladies. What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, what's that?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. That we just told you.
What point are you trying to make?
Are you saying like bamboo women are being beaten the most? Is that what you're saying?
So are you saying bamboo women are the problem?
Keep my comment to I know where he's taking this one.
No, don't do that. Don't do. First of all, like I said, like GBVs across the board, unfortunately. And by the way, just to add to that, we were having this discussion. I was saying like Ohangwena, there's Monamo reporting.
Yes.
But they actually found that it is because, and this is good, guys, listen to this one. So in Ohangwena, there's been an increase in reports of GBV. And people were saying, oh, well, is it because GBV is becoming worse in Ohangwena region?
Yeah.
So men are beating women more today than they were years ago.
Yeah.
And then they actually found that, no, women are now being empowered to report it.
Yes.
So in the past, the abuse was always happening, but it was never reported. It was dealt with in the home or with the traditional authority sometimes, or it was just kept quiet, under the rug. But now women are feeling more and more empowered to report sexual and gender-based violence, which is ultimately what we want. So when we see a peak in some regions in reporting of SGBV, that's good. It means women are becoming empowered to report it, and that's a good sign. We need to report it.
You just mentioned that, and I remember they used to have this radio place on Ashwambo radio, and exactly what you said makes sense now, whereby a woman is beaten. In the stories, that's how it goes. This woman is beaten and they don't report. If she tells the neighbor, then the neighbors will come and tell the husband, and then the husband, here you are talking about me beating you in the house. And then she gets beaten again. And then there comes now social worker saying, no, if your husband is beating you, it's wrong. Giving women this information.
Education.
And letting her know.
There's
help. There's help. You can go somewhere. There are people who can help.
And it's not normal for you to be beaten. Stop the cycle.
So a lot of people just believe, no, as a Gaslan, what must I do?
So in Shivambo we say tweet didimike. Like you have to endure whatever hardships, including abuse that you experience at home. You endure. Just endure as a woman. Endure, and that.
And then you find in a situation whereby if this woman wants to speak up, the surrounding, like the
society, the
community will speak against her.
Don't say things.
You don't speak against your husband.
Against your husband.
Until he kills you, and then everybody's like, "Oh, we knew he was an abuser. We always knew he was." An abuser.
And then they want to speak. So that's actually good.
That's good. It's changing. It's changing. Mindsets are changing, and it can only change with education.
And we don't realize that these people don't realize inadvertently you're also teaching the young in your house that is the normal.
Yep.
The normal dynamics of a relationship. Daddy's land for mommy or mommy and daddy bakle elke dag.
You see how, like, for example, you say
unhealthy.
See how they say white people have to do away with the racism in their houses because their kids are going to grow up to be racist, and society is moving where racists are being called out now. So maybe you are racist as a parent and there was no action against you and there were no consequences for your racism, but like society is becoming more woke and more conscious and calling out. So you need to teach your kids the right way, because if you are raising racist children right now, they're going to be in trouble, because trust me, 10 years, 20 years from now, that society is not going to tolerate racist people. So it's the same with abuse. Like, if you are not sending the right messages to your children in the home right now and you're raising them in a violent and abusive home, when they grow up and they beat people,
you're teaching them to become that.
When they become violent, there's going to be harsher consequences. You could get away with it because the society we're living in silenced it. Like nobody reported it. Well, people are getting empowered to report and to call out violence and abuse. So, leer julle se kinders nou reg. Otherwise, if you're doing a terrible job now, your kids could end up in jail in years down the line because the society is changing.
Mario Paul Richard saying, there is no way the law will disappoint you. Imagine, no matter how that person does like a big crime, the law will be on the side of that person for that period of time until when he enters the court. That's when he or she will be judged. And in the end, that person sometimes he will be granted bail.
Innocent until proven guilty?
Yeah.
Concept or what?
Okay, so I think that's the point he's trying to make. Yeah.
Everybody's innocent until proven otherwise. Yeah.
So
even if you're charged, but until you're prosecuted.
That prosecution part is the one that takes long.
That determines whether you are guilty. Yeah, you need to be found guilty.
Only the court can pronounce you guilty.
Yeah. Yes. But that process takes forever.
Yeah.
It's like if you killed a brother of mine or my sister or whatever 5 years ago, I'll only be getting justice after 10 years, or 6 or 7.
No.
Then only the person will be, now you're getting 30 years.
Postponement after postponement. Investigations are not complete.
One docket is lost.
One docket is lost.
Speaking of which, there will be no more postponement for Fisher or Jelle magistrate gehoor.
Yeah.
So,
ACC
het hulle se goed reg.
Yeah, I actually really hope so.
Yeah.
Liva Hiskia is saying, Braji Gontep is an AR member from Swapo Spy. It's so there's what do they call it? What's the word? Whatever, man. It's gonna come to me. Let's be grateful. Let's just be grateful that we are in a country that has peace and none of those brutal laws.
Yeah.
They're brutal. Yeah. As in.
I don't know. Like,
hanging?
I guess the death penalty.
Death penalty. Yeah. No, I don't think death penalty has a place in society.
Then you get in some countries where the community takes the law into their own hands.
That's not.
That's no. At least we are not at that level. So.
Yeah, we're generally docile people.
Yeah,
I think so. And I don't mean it as an insult. I don't mean it as an insult. Actually, I'm saying it in a positive way.
It's a good thing, yes.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Other countries, these African countries,
I mean, sometimes I would like us to be a little bit more,
Biggie flared up.
Yeah, more fed up. Yeah,
they take the law into their own hands,
but that's not always a good thing.
It's ends in tears at the end of the day, but the men's are more. You call the police, they take a whole 2 hours before they come there to see.
Yeah, I was just about to say, but that stuff only happens when there's a failure on the part of the safety and security.
Yeah.
So we are waiting for you for 2 hours. What must we do?
These things happen. Like it's like I was listening to the walkie-talkie conversation. Police officers, right?
Yeah.
I think the person in the station or at the station was probably asking these other officers, like, you can ask you, and from what it sounded to me, like there was a case of somebody who either was or had attempted suicide, and they needed to send a unit there, a police unit there.
Yeah.
Mar, no, Officer Semi went with the other car.
Yeah, that's the problem.
The other key, Maria is on leave and she went with the key. And I'm like, we are doomed.
All I'm saying, during lockdown, these people showed us that they've got resources.
Yeah, no, they have.
Yes, the resources are there.
The resources are there. Yes, they can never use that one again.
If they can patrol a whole full street with so many cars.
I'm telling you, and they made a spectacle out of it.
Asino Kambikiti also taking us back to the Herze case. It says any lady will be screaming in that situation from bullet 1 to bullet number 6. My guy, this man knew who he was shooting. Every man knows his lady's voice. After that first scream, you already know this may throw. Would like to continue shooting and fire off 6 or 7 more. Yes.
Assuming the light was even off.
The story doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Feel, I want to put myself in this Gerte's shoe. He went back to work.
Yeah, I'm surprised he still has a job.
How do people actually look at him? Do they look at him?
They wish him a happy birthday on their Facebook.
It's like once a CEO, hello boss, Rana boss.
Yeah, no. But
it's like Joe Manet and
no, but but the wife got attacked a lot. So a lot of people are seeing him like, yeah, we didn't expect this. He must have been triggered. Yeah,
she tried to ruin your life.
She tried to ruin your life. Yeah, bas nie is waar. I can't say ek is ook 'n man. As my vrou ek seker so ek menne nog doodgemaak het ernstig, It's
well,
I'm not saying they're all like that, but like you get a sense that
we must really stop this enabler culture.
But also demons say they must.
He was also a pastor. You need to remember.
Yeah, so a dog died.
And now they're saying the devil. Somebody been saying the devil.
The devil is a liar.
Yeah,
but that story of just walking free is not good enough.
No.
There should be real consequences.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not good enough. It's just.
But like the apologists, it's so off-putting. I mean, these guys would not accept this kind of behavior in their own houses. Like I'll give you an example, right? So two friends of mine, they're sitting and arguing about. It's the one is talking about her, I think, ex-boyfriend or something. So she's like, I'm struggling with him this way and that way, and like basically, the two girls are friends, the two guys are friends. These two used to date, these two are dating. Okay,
so there's two exes,
yeah,
and then a couple that's still together.
Yes. So me and you are friends, and I'm complaining to you now about my ex, who's
also your friend.
Yeah, who's your boyfriend's best friend, basically.
Okay, let's just use this as a scenario. So there's you, Sammy, myself, and Jane.
Yes.
Okay.
Me and Jane used to date. Yes. You and Sammy are dating.
I'm currently dating. Yeah. But Jane is our mutual friend.
Yes. You and Jane are friends. Me and Sammy are also friends.
All right. Okay.
You get.
All right.
So.
You're complaining to me about Jane.
No. Jane is complaining to you about me.
All right. Okay.
Basically, it's the girls most now.
Yeah.
So and you obviously go take these things up with.
Sammy, I'm telling my boyfriend.
Let's say you're Brian. Jane is telling me this and this. Yeah. So Sammy it doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah.
Sammy has got
my back.
Bronco. Yeah.
It's
like, but the guy.
See, talk so man. Yeah.
And then I told her next time he does that, let's ask him, so is this how you would treat me if we broke up?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that made that guy realize, okay, name a brass for kid. It's like, because now you have been put in that situation where you actually are forced to think about it, about the situation, not just trying to protect and even in situations like this, met Gertze, right?
You make a point.
It's indefensible.
Yeah.
It's indefensible. There's nothing that he can say to excuse those actions. So if you're still standing there and being an apologist, it really says a lot about you.
Yeah, it's like, for me, it's like there are always simple ways to see it. Like when you start dating a man, for example, always listen to how a man talks about his exes. Right?
Yeah.
If it's always like, I said what and say was deeper and whatever, don't fall into the trap of thinking you are special by encouraging that type of conversation. A lot of women fall into this trap. They're like, then they start feeling special now. Yeah. Because, that ex of his, and they'll even go tell their friends, nee, dat cherry wat waarmee was. She was so and she did this and she was a slechte vrou. Because you're feeling special, but what you don't realize is he's already showing you what will happen when you're on the other side. When you are the ex, this is how he'll talk about you.
Yes.
That's exactly what he'll say about you.
You can also be the other woman. Don't forget.
You will, and if it doesn't work out, so that's why I really appreciate men. Maybe it's not about that they have to lie; they can speak their truth, but like that, always use a tone of like respect. Like, it didn't work out. Yeah, maybe I didn't like this and that thing, but at the end of the day, she's a good woman, or I can't really say anything bad about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those type of guys. At least they're showing character, real character. Don't fall into that trap, ladies.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and impale your character just because we're not together
exactly.
anymore.
I loved you at one point.
What does it say about me if I loved you and now I'm the one who's talking all this nonsense about you?
And by the way, the reverse is true as well.
Yes.
Women that just talk smack about their exes. Just talk smack about their exes. Pass up.
Okay, I see this sort of narrative is persisting. Zapes Jonas Uirab is saying the fact stands more GBV are against the Bambu people. Visit the courtrooms, Estomich. Look, what makes it to the courts are the cases that actually get reported.
Yeah.
I have lived I've lived among most like Namibian communities, except for maybe the tribes from the far northeast that I haven't really mingled with a lot. And I can tell you, abuse is rife in all the communities.
It's about reporting.
Actually, I'm willingly gonna say this, like that Bambu men are not even the most abusive men in Namibia of all the tribes. They're violent, but they're not the most abusive. So this whole idea that maybe it's something wrong, and I know that the whole idea is because you guys want to paint this narrative, but Bambu meisies hou van geld, and that's why these things keep happening to them. It's verkeerd.
Yeah, and also just by the way, a lot of these cases of GBV unfortunately are also happening in rural areas where they have no monetary benefit dynamics.
Yes.
Okay. So if you are talking about maybe in Windhoek, fine. But these women that you're calling slay queens and whatever, they're not the ones reporting GBV. They're not really the ones experiencing GBV. Just by the way, it is women in generally informal sectors. Yeah. It's generally women in rural areas that are, and I'm not saying they're the only ones, because abuse happens even in affluent homes. So I'm not making this an economy thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying what we're seeing. If you look at the economical background of cases reported, generally it is women from impoverished, non-educational background. There are studies for these things. I promise you, just Google this stuff, right? So you can't even use it like, as vrouwmense wat geslaan word, as vrouwmense wat net vir manne gebruik vir geld. No, it's actually not.
I think it's the reporting part. There was a friend of mine I met, I think Vrydag. I met her at a place. She was, I found her the next day, her eyes were blue. Toe vra ek haar, wat het gebeur? Boyfriend en geslaan. I asked her why. Yeah, because I went out. And you're just okay with this. What moet ek market say? It's my man.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's wrong.
It's not normal.
It's not normal. This is just wrong.
And if it is mostly Bambu women that are being, I may not say your word, being beaten, cases being reported, that shows that whatever they're doing on that side, mostly the north, to educate those masses, they should roll that out to all the communities, because clearly it's working. Like whatever they're doing in the Hangwena region right now, for example, I'll give that as a case, to educate women to report, because it's about reporting. Look, just because it's not reported in the community doesn't mean there's no violence happening. It just means reporting levels are low. In a lot of communities, reporting levels are low. Now, reporting levels are generally low when it's normalized, when the abuse is normalized. So they don't think it's something that should be reported, So
every time you get beaten, it's your fault.
It's your fault, exactly.
That's what this community is basically
that's
reinforce.
What they believe is
the message
fault.
that they reinforce.
And by the way, the GBV stats that came out last month, was it last month? Yes, last month, they found that most reporting happened in the Commerce region. Commerce region is the metropolitan, it's Windhoek.
Yes.
It's a very mixed city. This is not a predominantly Bambu city.
Yeah.
This is it's a hub. We've got every tribe represented here. So you can't even come and say it's a Bambu thing.
Like, look, people want to play off the stereotypes, like, Bambu women are stubborn and I've dated most of the tribes here in this country, and I'm telling you this. There are certain things that are sort of common among certain tribes, but there's no one single identifier that unifies
for a woman,
any tribe.
A woman is a woman.
Stubborn woman
regardless.
Is just a stubborn
yes.
Woman,
And you saying she's hard-headed is because you want her to listen to you no matter what you say.
Yep.
That is not the world we live in anymore. So, for instance, hetero women are very docile. That much, yeah.
Your experience.
Yes, my experience is the hetero women are more docile. They're willing to defer to you, whatever. You know, whatever decision, whatever power, whatever, like that they will do. Bamboo girls will question. Hey, why this way and why not that way? And that's why they get this stubborn or hard-headed label. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and it also wouldn't justify the abuse if then there was abuse because of that stubbornness and hard-headedness.
And then Damara women can be docile, Damara Nama, but they're also fierce.
Yeah.
In her head, like, hey, we are the same size here. I'm willing to play small for you, but I'm just as big as you. Don't think I'm afraid of you. You can just push me around. So, I don't get, and you get cases of GBV in the Damara community, in the Herero community, in the Ovambo community. We had the case of the white Oma who shot the husband in Katima. And imagine when the story came out, maybe because it was Katima, everybody assumed it was a black couple until they saw,
it was a white woman.
It's a white woman.
And she wrote a letter talking about her abuse for years that she'd never reported.
Yeah. Most of the things you don't hear, just because it's not being reported does not mean it's not there. And you can see some of the, I mean, even when we were at school, you could tell. Sometimes you could tell when there was a problem at home.
Yeah.
Even especially if you were close enough to somebody to be able to notice a change in their behavior.
Yeah.
These things arrive everywhere, and it's because us as a community, we have normalized it. Instead of saying, okay, it's true. Ons had a problem with he or prat would rather near as the bamboos of near as the damaras, as the hereros.
Last month on Twitter, the colored community was also talking about the abuse that they experience in their homes. But the common thing that stood out was like how a lot of it goes unreported and a lot of it is normalized. So these things are happening. And I mean, if the Bambus start talking, you'll find similar things.
Yes.
And the Hereros and the Namadamara and whoever, you'll find the same thing replicated, duplicated over and over and over. Abuse, SGBV, is across the board, guys. Just stop it. Don't think any tribe here is special. It is across the board.
Yes.
It infiltrates every nook and corner of society.
That is very true.
That's the sad part.
If every other neighbor could just report an abuse case that is experienced, I think if not the abusive home reports it, but the neighbor does, we'll have a lot of cases in this country.
And people are good at I could be here on the show every day talking what I'm talking, advocating, and I am a victim.
Yes.
You guys don't know.
You don't know.
And then something happens to me.
Yes.
And then
I get killed, and then the stories start coming out. No, she's been with an abusive man, and you guys are like shocked. What? But she always been so. She doesn't appear. Guys, you never know. That's what I'm trying to always give people the benefit, because you never know. Even me, I could be one. For all you know, you don't really know. Some people are just better at hiding it than others, and that's what you always have to remember.
Yes, because you are told most it's your fault that you're getting beaten.
Or you're embarrassed.
So you'd rather hide it because
it's
an embarrassment.
Yeah, you're embarrassed to admit and it
reminds me of one of our news anchors. You know what I'm talking about?
Praat die story klaar, then we will know who we are talking about.
What's the news anchor man of NBC? Always blow work. I don't want to mention names.
I'm trying to remember.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So in person, I've met her.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
And I actually noticed why she enabled it. The fear she has. I've never seen a woman scared for a man like that. What does it take? Oh, it's a minute. Every minute she counts, she has to run. I was like,
It's amazing how extremely nice most of these abusive people are. It's just let's just go.
And you see, we enable all this stuff, but we are all scared to come out and just speak.
Yeah. But like, look, guys. My parting shot, I guess, or my parting advice to anybody would be like, this culture of I don't get involved in people's domestic issues. That must end. Like, some things are just objectively wrong. It doesn't matter what the person did or what is going on. No, there's no situation that gives the guy the right to put his hands on the girl. So if that is happening, you as a responsible citizen, if you don't want to get involved for fear of maybe getting harmed yourself, then call the police.
Call your security company or something.
Call somebody.
Yeah, don't just stand back.
Say something. Don't just be quiet and then hope it's going to go away, because it's only going to get worse. It doesn't go away. Right? So the weekend is not here yet. I wanted to ask what's up with the weekend.
It's not fair, Van Dijk.
Yeah. I'm going to be back on the air around 12 with Community Chat with Dirkas. We're going to be talking to some of the branches, the Trustco branches around the country. Just, touching base with Namibia and trying to find out what is happening around this beautiful land of the brave. It's going to be coming your way between 12 and 1 right here on Informanté Radio. Also streaming on Informanté Radio on Facebook. So make sure you catch that one. Once it's 8, we'll be back tomorrow.
Cheers.
Hey! Wake up! LifeSave guarantees the growth of an individual's savings over a period of time. With guaranteed 8.5% compound interest rates per year. Making your money work for you has never been this easy. SMS LifeSave to 31844. LifeSave, underwritten by Trustco Life.
Informanté Radio.
Informanté Radio. Informanté Radio is die beste.
Informanté,
I know you're gonna dig this. Did you know your Kamastaka favorite radio station is listening to us? Informanté Radio. The sound for me.